What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Yo, this is Court Bauer from MLW. Shout out to True Heel Heat. Give them a listen.
All right.
You already know what time it is, man. The young GOAT in the building. Make sure you tune in to True Heel Heat podcast.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for NJPW Capital Collision 2024 preview. Breaking down this Friday's card from Washington, D.C., the latest from NJPW Strong Entertainment in the United States and New Japan Pro Wrestling's first major event since the end of the G1 Climax 34 tournament. But y'all know when we're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, we're going to call one of two people, but most of all, we're going to call this man first. He is the MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy, J-News.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As I desire your good brother J-News. We got to talk about Capital Collision today. I must say, this crept up on me, man. I thought I was going to have a longer time off, another hiatus. You know what I'm saying? Because New Japan likes to do that to me, give me these long versions of vacations and hiatuses. But we got things to do. We got matches to talk about. We have some things that might be brewing in the fire with this event. So we shall see how it all breaks down.
Indeed. If you like New Japan Pro Wrestling coverage, we do it here more than a lot of other channels on the YouTube verse. So welcome if this is your first time watching. Welcome if this is your normal time watching. If you're one of the usual suspects that we have in our community, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, drop a heart, a like, an angry emoji, a laughing emoji. However, NJPW Capital Collision 2024 is making you feel. Watching us on Twitter, drop a heart, retweet the video, helps the algorithm over there. And if you're watching on any of those three platforms, remember to sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys. Hear your thoughts on the upcoming shows. We do pay-per-view previews for WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, and everything in between here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. So welcome if your first time watching. But if you want to show your support to what we do here, the best way to do that is with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate that support. We got our usual suspect when we're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. The good brother Vala B is in the chat. He says, this feels like a nothing show designed to get several members of the roster to pick up Ishii to take him home. He also says this just feels like a nothing show. Hopefully Momo and Mercedes tear the house down. Valabi says, I could have been one of 3 people, but you never call me. I always try to call J-News. J-News gets first access, and then Salon gets second access. I'm sorry, Valabi. But no, I didn't want to make my one call to Valabi on this show. If you're calling it a nothing show, I mean, why would I call you on this one? But I think there is going to be a couple of fun matches on this card coming off of the G1 Climax 34 tournament, as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling having some representatives in the UK over the weekend, whether it be the Red Pro show, which saw Zack Sabre Jr. and Hechicero have one of the best technical wrestling matches of the year, or Zack Sabre Jr. appearing in the Casino Gauntlet at All In. You had El Phantasmo on that Rev Pro show, Tomohiro Ishii on both shows over the weekend. We talked a little bit about All In, but what is kind of your feeling on New Japan Pro Wrestling heading into this Friday and coming off the heels of first the G1 Climax 34 final and New Japan's representation in the UK for AEW All In and Rev Pro?
I think the representation was it was a good thing. One, secondarily, I also want to say that I don't want to be too early on the boat, but it seems like Brit Rest might be on the comeback. So we will keep your fingers crossed. But NJPW representation was cool. I was literally surprised to see Zach come out during the Casino Gauntlet match. I popped.
Did you pop? Did you get out your seat?
I got out my seat. I popped big. The pop he got was good too, man. You know, sometimes the UK crowd, when it comes to their own, is not that big of a deal or whatever. But you know, they pop big, so I appreciate that. You know, I also popped big for freaking the grizzled young veterans when they came out during the match. So, you know, that was a good thing. But for all intents and purposes, the New Japan representation, Ishii, he still got bangers in him, man. We saw it at the end of the day. ELP, brother, you need to find a home, but you will find one soon. You know what I'm saying? So that was good representation there. Big props to Big Suge, who's currently in Mexico, chilling out, hanging out with his CMLL brethren. Him wearing his eye patch there with Zandokan Jr. and stuff like that. So props to Big Suge for doing his thing over in Mexico as well. So representation is really, really big. And even though she's not a New Japan person, but she is a Bushiroad person. Shouts to Mina Shirakawa for becoming Rev Pro Women's Undisputed Champion. So we want Mina is real, and we want her all the time. Yeah.
Want her long time. Mina Shirakawa, yes, congratulations to her on winning the Rev Pro Undisputed Women's British Heavyweight British Championship. Shout outs to her. Shout outs to everyone. Ishii had a banger with JJ Gale on that show. You had Gabe Kidd pick up a win over Donovan Dijak. That was like the Darby Allin Jack Perry of the Rev Pro show. I felt like that needed like 5 more minutes.
Did they? Oh, they rushed it. Oh, okay. Damn.
It felt rushed. I just watched it today, so I was just like, man, I wanted more of this. These guys could have had a slapper if they had like 5 more minutes. But man, that Rev Pro show was great. All In was great. Hopefully, we can keep on that trend as far as the AEW, New Japan, Rev Pro, Stardom, CMLL verse, and have another great show this coming Friday, Capital Collision 2024. I will say, not to kind of agree fully with Vala B about it being a nothing show, I do kind of question the placement of this show because Capital Collision usually would be in like the springtime, like your April, your May time, June time, June being the earliest in the summer. This is kind of like late in the summer to have this show, and coming off of the G1 Climax 34 tournament and the final, as well as you got Destruction coming up in just a few weeks, starting the Destruction tour. This does feel like a filler show, not a nothing show, but a filler show. Do you get that feeling as well? As we always do on these pay-per-view previews, J-News, what is your anticipation, your buzz level for this event from 0 to 10?
It's not high. I'll admit that. It's not high because to the point you're making, it being a filler show, I mean, for all intents and purposes, like after the G1, I would have just figured everybody just take a couple weeks off and then we'll regroup when Destruction comes. So for folks to be on this New Japan Strong event, I guess they had to, fill their New Japan Strong event quota for the year, for all intents and purposes. So there's that part of it. Looking forward to a couple of the matches here on the card. We are if we have, I mean, on the freaking thumbnail we have Momo versus Mercedes and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to Leo versus the fucking madman, Gabe Kid. So looking forward to that. And yeah, man, and we'll run down the rest of the card as well. But it does feel like a filler show. Obviously, as if people aren't aware, wrestlers always need the reps just to stay fresh. So as much as they can wrestle, let's get it done. And if we get some bangers out of it, then hey, by all means, let's keep doing it.
Absolutely, I'm here with you on that. But 0 to 10, where are you at?
A good. I mean, I say mid, so I'm a good 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good 5.
I was gonna say 6. I was gonna say 6 mainly because I feel there is like 3 to 4 matches I'm actually looking forward to, and I firmly believe they'll be either good to great. So I will say 6, a solid 6 for me. But let's get into our predictions, and of course, sound off in the live chat with your predictions on the card, as well as if you're feeling generous, you want to show your support to what we do here and keep the channel running. Send a super chat donation as well. But you got the Strong Survivor. This is going to be on the pre-show, as you have the Strong Survivor champion, Matt Vandagriff. He's going to go one-on-one with Alan Breeze. What have you been thinking about Matt Vandagriff? Has been on a winning streak with these Strong Survivor matches on the U.S. shows. Alan Breeze is someone I'm not too familiar with, so I'm going to go with Vandagriff here. What about you, J-News?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Alan Breeze at all. Vandagriff for the win. He continues to streak. He shows out within his 5-minute matches, so, I'll give him that. So, yeah, I'm with the Vandagriff train to continue on.
Choo-choo. Speaking of, you mentioned her earlier, the new Rev Pro undisputed British Women's Champion will be in action on this card, representing Stardom alongside Hanako to face Trish Adora, the graduate of NJPW Academy, as well as a regular by now on these NJPW Strong shows, Viva Van. Not much story going into this one. This is a big spotlight opportunity for Hanako, who's going to be debuting on a New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong show. She's been working out with Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa has been working out with Kairi Sane. Interesting. And Trish Adora has been, dabbling in Ring of Honor. I would love to see her more on Ring of Honor, but she's been a stalwart over there alongside the Infantry, while Viva Van has been getting some more reps on ROH and AEW as well. What do you got here in this tag team matchup?
I'll have the Japanese ladies winning here, as it is a New Japan show. So I'll have them winning. So, yeah, and like you said, there's no storyline going into this at all. Between, like you said, at least I'm used to watching Trish Adora on ROH and now the New Japan Strong shows. I got a lot of Viva Van on my freaking timeline for wrestling purposes and different purposes. So it is what it is there. So, it is what it is there. But yeah, I think that it should be a solid match. The women here all know they're pros, so I think we'll probably get a solid 8 minutes out of this, and Hanako and Mina will take the win for this one.
So is this going to be on the pre-show as well?
I would imagine so.
Because it would. Not to say anything against the women, but I'm not used to New Japan opening a show.
Correct.
With
the women. Yeah. I would imagine so. Yeah.
We got I Make Beats, one of our members in the chat. Thanks for joining us today. I Make Beats who's a pretty good New Japan Pro Wrestling fan. If I mention himself, he's been in our comments in past New Japan videos we've done. He says, "Sup SB, excuse my absence yesterday. Raw was crazy. Kind of stoked for this show though. Ali versus Hiromu, Mercedes versus Momo, Kid versus Leo." He mentioned 3 of the 4 matches I was mentioning earlier that I think is going to be either good to great on this show, and I am doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. I Make Beats, and Call Me Mr. Bonda says, I want Trish Adora to get some big wins in 2025. Team Shirakawa wins. I am also going to go with Mina Shirakawa and Hanako to pick up the victory in this one, only because Trish Adora don't win in Ring of Honor, and I don't think she's going to win here.
And it shouldn't be that way, man. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that way. She adds to the infantry over on ROH, and she's a hell of an in-ring performer. She's gotten much better in the last couple of years since I started seeing her. So yeah, man. Hopefully, like Mr. Bonda said, hopefully in 2025 she starts picking up some big wins. But I don't see it here though. I don't see it here.
Yeah, not against Mina. It's all about Mina. We want Mina.
Yeah, exactly.
What I do think could be the opener to this show, we have a 3-way matchup to determine the number 1 contender for the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. You got TMDK represented by Robbie Eagles and Bad Dude Tito versus Hontai Chaos, mixing it up once again in a tag team. Former two-thirds of the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions, the greatest Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions alongside Kazuchika Okada. It was Tomohiro Ishii and Hiroshi Tanahashi, and they'll be debuting on NJPW Strong, the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson, coming off the heels of their official AEW debut at All In London, where they attacked FTR and confronted the Young Bucks. They've been cutting promos, been getting people ready for Capital Collision and this big matchup here. So I'm looking forward to this one because it's a huge opportunity for GYV to make a statement in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I will go with James Drake and Zach Gibson in this one. What do you think about this matchup overall, with 3 interesting teams in the mix here, especially TMDK going after belts owned by TMDK in this one to become number 1 contender? But who do you think wins as well?
I mean, I'm with everybody else in the chat, man. I'm with the GYV, the Grizzled Young Veterans. When they appeared, I was waiting for the UK crowd to start chanting to Zach Gibson. Everyone who hates Zach Gibson, put your shoes up. But
put your shoes up. If you hate Zach Gibson, stand up.
But no, GYV is an awesome tag team, man. They should get the win here, just to because it'll because it's a, like you said, it's a universe now, right? It's New Japan, it's CMLL, it's Rev Pro, it's AEW. So them getting the win here and then contending for those Never Openweight tag team championships, and maybe winning them down the road can put them into better contention out in the AEW verse down the line, since they already faced off with the EVPs and then they attacked FTR. Getting a new tag team in the division in AEW was a must. So
yes,
thankfully they're there. But yeah, GYV for the win. They'll show us some real dope ass shit because they're a dope ass tag team. So yeah, GYV for the win.
I was higher on that tag team title match the second time watching it from home. I was higher on it watching it from home than I was watching it live. Watching it live, I think I gave it on our review 3.5 stars. I think I'm a little bit higher after watching it again.
No, it was much better than what I remembered it being the first time around when I watched it. Because I was surrounded by people. I'm used to watching stuff by myself. So I was like, okay, a little distracted here and there. And then when I got to watch it again, I was like, yeah, this was better than I remembered it being. But I wanted to say one more thing. Shouts to the TMDK team. Big teams. my main man, the bad dude Tito. It's always a good time when the bad dude Tito's in the match because he can do a lot of different things that people don't think he can do. So big Teats, Robbie Eagles making the rounds, man. Robbie's everywhere right now.
He's everywhere. Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan. He's in
ECW,
Australia.
He's everywhere, man.
He's getting those bookings. He's getting those bookings. And Bad Dude Tito, I believe he's still MLW National Openweight Champion.
Correct. Yeah. And he had some sort of like a no ropes cage kind of match the other day where he beat the crap out of somebody. So yeah, Tito doing things, man. Doing things.
Let's go, Tito. Let's go. We got Dolores in the chat joining us today. We got I Made Beats is going with GYV and Call Me Mr. Banda. He says, when you see us, lads,
Grit
your team. Great stuff. Great stuff. GYV, I'm excited for them in AEW and excited that we got them on here on New Japan Pro Wrestling. But someone who doesn't make our good friend J-News excited is the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion David Finlay. Will be leading the Bullet Club War Dogs into Capital Collision as he teams up with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors to first home tie Chaos, mixing it up once again as you got Kevin Knight teaming up with Chaos's own Yoshihashi and Rocky Romero. It was Yoshihashi who picked up a pinfall victory over the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion on the G1 Climax 34 final event in a I think that was also a trios matchup here. Can Yoshihashi pick up another crucial victory before he faces David Finlay at Destruction at the end of September? What do you got in this one here, J-News?
I got the War Dogs, man. I mean, they're the more solidified and unified unit here. So, I think they'll take the win here. You might see David Finlay get his pin back on Yoshihashi. Who knows? But, no disrespect. We love him. Kev Knight's a friend of the show. But he's probably looking up at the lights here. Or because Rocky hasn't been looking up at the lights lately.
Oh, come on, Rocky.
Rocky hasn't been looking up at the lights lately. You know what I'm saying? So, it's, I don't know.
Right, it's because Rocky got a management position in all these companies. The Forbidden Door multiverse should just be called the Rocky Romero multiverse because he brought all these companies together.
He is the Forbidden Door. Like, we need to understand. He is the Forbidden Door.
Oh, we got Mr. Banda who says the War Dogs win. I say begrudgingly. I'm going to agree with you and Mr. Banda. I'm going to go with the War Dogs here because I feel like the babyface team has two options to take the loss here. Yeah. Kevin Knight and Rocky Romero. I don't see Yoshihashi taking the loss here. If anything, I think Yoshihashi would be the reason why the babyface team would get the win in this scenario, probably with a victory over one of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. I wouldn't mind Rocky and Kevin Knight. Why not? If Kushida's too busy with Impact Wrestling, give us a new tag team with Rocky and Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight got experience with Kushida. Rocky Romero has experience with 1,001 partners. Why not make them a tag team and go after the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles?
Imagine if this is going to be Rocky's next run in New Japan proper. Him and Kevin Knight, they going all the way to the top. You know what I'm saying?
Take it to the top. Dolores saying this weekend wild for pay-per-views. You got this show, you got TNA Emergence, you got WWE Batch in Berlin, you got NXT No Mercy. That's like 4 major shows within like 3-day span. So yes, it's gonna be a very busy week. Plus, you got Stardom's 5-star Grand Prix final on Saturday as well. It's just a wild weekend when it comes to professional wrestling for sure. Dolores coming off the heels of another wild weekend with All In last weekend. We also got here, call me Mr. Wanda.
I got Micah winning, man. There ain't no way she's not winning this.
She's been undefeated. Like, first time someone's been undefeated on her way to the semi.
Ain't no way she's not winning this, man. There ain't no way. Love me some Starlight Kid. You guys know I'm a big fan of hers.
She came up short. That was my pick. That was my pick. That was my pick before today. I was like, yeah, gotta give it to Starlight Kid. But I mean, Mike is going to be versus the MVP of the tournament so far, Mayu Iwatani. So.
Yeah, but Mayu's the MVP every freaking match, man. They need to build other stars, bro. They need to build other stars. So it's like it just makes sense for them to not give it to her because she's worked her ass off. But Micah for the win, man. Micah for the win. And close second, you said the MVP was Mayu. I got close second, the heart and soul of Stardom, Azumi. Azumi did the damn thing throughout the tournament as well.
She had a great tournament as well. Yeah. A lot of the matches that I've put in my star ratings had either Azumi and Mayu Watani. They had a great match together as well. But yeah, I got to catch up on the last half of last week into this week with my 5-star Grand Prix. Hopefully, I can watch some of the matches before I do my star ratings later today. But if not, they'll be on next week's star ratings along with the final event. But I'm definitely going to be in tune and watch the final over the weekend for sure. But yes, a lot of good stuff in wrestling coming up this weekend for sure. But continuing on with Capital Collision here, we got another couple of people that J-News is not very fond of. The former
rematch, man. Why are we getting a rematch of this? Why are we getting a rematch of this, Sid? I don't understand this. I don't get it.
They call it a grudge match, but I call it let's troll J-News matchup here, as it's going to be the West Coast Wrecking Crew of Joel Nelson and Royce Isaacs, friend of the channel, versus the team of Dirty Work, Red Rosser and Filthy Tom Lawler. These two teams have been going at it for the last couple of months. They had the West Coast Wrecking Crew turn on Team Filthy after the 4-way matchup for the NJPW Strong Tag Team titles earlier this year. Then it was the West Coast Wrecking Crew who picked up the victory over Dirty Work at Resurgence in May. And now we have this rematch here at Capital Collision. I'm going to go with Dirty Work for the victory. What have you thought about the build for this matchup and who you have winning, J-News?
The build. This man asks me about the build for this.
It's been a few months. It's been going on for a few months. This may be the blow off.
What blow off? If you're giving Dirty Work the win here, right? Then they're gonna be 1-1. They got to do a third match after this. Come on, no.
They probably got Lone Star Shootout coming up.
I'm going to begrudgingly pick the West Coast Wrecking Crew to win this match, just so that we don't get a third match. That's all I'm saying.
Call me Mr. Bond to send you up for even more failure, saying I want a no contest just to be messy. This literally Dirty Work is what Jimmy Macaron was describing on our All In review. He hates two like on the nose names. Like he doesn't like grizzled young veterans because he feels like that's too on the nose. He's okay with GYV as the acronym, but he says that's too on the nose. And someone in the chat said, what does he think about Jake Lee's nickname of the smart bastard? And he started laughing uproariously that's outrageous. That's ridiculous. And I want to hear, remind me in the chat tomorrow for AE Ramble. I'm going to ask him, what does he think about the name Dirty Work for Filthy Tom Lawler and Fred Rosser?
Oh man. Anyways,
Dolores says, "I see the steam coming off of J-News. He hates it."
Yeah, I'm not with the shits, man. Give me something different.
All right. Well, the other match that I'm very much looking forward to on this show has to feature a winner of the New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 34 tournament, Zack Sabre Jr., the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He's going to go one-on-one with Los Ingonables de Japon's Titan. Titan, always a highlight during the Best of Super Juniors. He's been a great addition to LIJ since they made him an official member back in, I believe this was 2022. Mm-hmm. And now he's going to be going one-on-one with officially the number one contender for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. This should be a great matchup. Who do you got here, J-News?
I agree. This should be a banger. Titan always brings the fire when he needs to. It'll be an interesting clash of styles. You know, the Techers versus the hybrid Techers high-flying style that Teton brings to the table. So we shall see. But for the win here, we can't have Zach lose any matches before World Quest. So Zachy for the win. I would say we get a very cool contrast of styles in this match. This should be a banger, no doubt. Zach doesn't know how to have a bad match, and neither does Teton. So we'll get that going.
I think I've rated all of Zach's last like 3 or 4 singles matches at least 4.5 stars. Like, so it's got a high bar to be at, but even if we can get to 4, I'll be happy. 4 stars. We got I Make Beats. He says, yeah, I forgot to mention this one. He says, gonna slap. I agree. This is gonna be a great match between these two, especially if they get some time. Then you got another special singles matchup. It's going to be the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Tetsuya Naito going one-on-one with the leader of United Empire, TJP. TJP has been kind of fighting for his spot as the leader of United Empire. That's debatable at this point because you got NJPW World Television Champion Jeff Cobb in the group. You got Never Openweight Champion Hanare in the group. You got the Great Okan, the King of Pro Wrestling 2024 Provisional Champion, and he is now going to be facing the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Tetsuya Naito coming up at Destruction at the end of September. So this is like a preview singles matchup as he'll be facing the leader of Great Okan's group, United Empire here. What have you thought about TJP as the leader of the group, and who do you think wins this one?
I have a question, an honest question, because I don't necessarily know the answer to this, even with all the knowledge I have in my head. Mr. Perkins has never been IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, has he?
No. Not during his latest run. I don't know if he did something
prior
neither.
Prior neither, I don't think, or whatever, because Ferg was running the freaking division for a long time. So, so you know, it is what it is there. But look, Naito gets the win because he's not gonna freaking win to. He's not gonna lose to a junior. So that's that. But
hey, he dabbled in the heavyweight. He was in the qualifying tournament for the G1.
You can't be out here dabbling. You need to do. At the end of the day, you can't be out here dabbling. No, man, but I've always respected TJP because at the end of the day, he's a tremendous in-ring competitor. He knows, like, legit, he knows, like, 4 or 5 different styles of professional wrestling. And, he can wrestle them all to perfection. So I don't think this should be a bad match unless Naito mails it in because it's a U.S. show.
And it is Naito.
It is Naito. So, you know, we
he has that very high mail-it in mark.
When it comes to U.S. shows, yeah. And look, for all intents and purposes, that's where Kenny got the whole T-shirt Kenny thing from. He got it from Naito. Naito's not taking off his shirt for this match at the end of the day. So, yeah, Naito wins, and he's going to mail it in. And that sucks to say, but that's the reality of it all, man. That's the reality of it all. He hates the U.S. Come on. Damn it, Naito.
He brought it at what was it? Windy City Riot against Moxley, the better of the 2 Moxley matches. I guess we're gonna get T-shirt Naito. It sounds like because it's a special singles match and not for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Right. But if you want championship bouts, you got the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team titles on the line. TMDK, Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes defend against CMLL representatives Virus and Hechicero. Hechicero coming off the heels of one of the best matches I've seen from him against Zack Sabre Jr. at the Rev Pro 12-year anniversary. Him and Virus made their challenge for TMDK after picking up a victory at Fantastica Mania USA against the TMDK representatives there, Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito. And now they look to go 2-0 against TMDK at the last couple of NJPW Strong in the USA event by defeating the Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. What do you think about this match? Who do you have winning, J-News?
It's an interesting match just because of the contrasting styles as per the usual. But Hechicero being the more popular and better defensive wrestler, I have a feeling that the strategy from TMDK is going to be them trying to pick apart El Virus and get him isolated away from his tag team partner and get the win that way. TMDK for the win in this match. It should be a decent match unless shit goes off the rails. So, yeah, TMDK for the win. They retain, and then that way we probably will get TMDK versus GYV at the next New Japan Strong event.
Sign me up for that, and I'll sign it twice. TMDK GYV should be a banger, but what else is going to be a banger, J-News? We all know what it's going to do. They'll probably get even more time than they did at Windy City Riot, as we're going to have a rematch from Windy City Riot, as Mustafa Ali will go one-on-one with Hiromu Takahashi in a special singles matchup. Ali picked up the victory in his hometown of Chicago over Hiromu in what was a very memorable finish to the matchup, where Ali went head first into the guardrail on a tope suicida, busting himself open before picking up the victory with the 450 splash on Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu was on a downturn of sorts at that point of the year, kind of after losing at Wrestle Kingdom and losing in the in other special singles matches. He lost here, and that led into him losing in the Best of the Super Juniors right before the playoff, right before the semifinals. But Hiromu is looking to gain more momentum back as he's going for his first non-junior heavyweight championship singles title in New Japan Pro Wrestling, coming up against Hanare on the road to destruction for the Never Openweight Championship. Can he prove himself as a junior heavyweight one last time at Capital Collision before that big title match here against one of the best junior heavyweights outside of New Japan in Mustafa Ali, who is coming off a big loss of his own, losing the X Division Championship to Speedball Mike Bailey last month and ending his run in TNA Wrestling. So both men looking to regain momentum here. Really liking this matchup on paper and the stories for both men going in. What do you think, J-News, and who you got with it?
Based on Mustafa Ali's latest vignettes, latest video cuts, it seems like he's spiraling a bit out of control, SP3. So, with that being said, and Hiromu needing a win in this situation before he gets into this never open weight match with Hanare, I feel like, and Ali having the win over Hiromu in the first match, I feel like Hiromu will get the win in the second match here, so he can have the momentum going into the Hanare match. But they'll blow this off somewhere down the road between Ali and Hiromu. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I think from a storytelling perspective, I feel like we're going down a darker path for Ali, being that he lost the X Division Championship. He loses to Hiromu in this match. We'll see that happen. So yeah.
I'm in agreement with you. I think Hiromu gets the win. This would be Ali's first loss in New Japan Pro Wrestling since arriving earlier this year. So, yeah, give me Hiromu picking up the victory so he can have the momentum heading into the Hanare matchup coming up at the Road to Destruction in September. So, but I think this one has a high banger rate. This might be one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah. Now, there's definitely going to be one of the matches of the night. The only thing that I would say coming out of this event, where does Ali go from here? He's not in TNA anymore. Obviously, he's never made a deal with AEW. I'm not too sure what his indie run's been like as of late. And he's never going to work with the WWE again. The dude's just against.
You don't think so?
No, I think he's against the whole. From the looks of it, right? Perception being what it is, I feel like he's against ever working with the WWE again for whatever reason. So that's just my opinion of it. So we'll see. I just wonder what's next for Ali after this and where we'll see him pop up. Has he done MLW shows? Because I'm not too certain.
No.
Okay.
And he still hasn't done like actually going to Japan for New Japan Pro
Right.
Wrestling. So, like, even though we're both in agreement, I think there is a chance that Ali gets the win because he would be a huge challenger for Doki coming out of Doki versus Taiji Ishimori. Doki trying to complete beating like the pillars of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship scene, and he beat Hiromu earlier this year, and in the Best of Super Juniors, he beat Desperado to win the championship, and now beating Ishimori, who's left for him out of the New Japan Pro Wrestling talent. There's not many bigger names than a Mustafa Ali coming over to Japan to challenge for that.
We can't forget about Kush the God, man, because she is still signed to New Japan, son. So you know, hey man, you can roll your eyes all you want, but it's the truth.
He has not gotten a shot at the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title since I don't know when.
But
I don't even remember.
He was the face of the division after Ferguson.
They don't fuck with him like that, or he don't fuck with them like that anymore. He be around sometimes. He be around for the tournaments, but not for no championship bouts.
Hey, look, listen, man. I'm just putting it out there, man. I'm just putting it out there. Just saying.
Yeah, I get it. For the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship, it is the fucking madman, you know? Gabe Kidd defending against Washington, D.C. own Lio Rush. Lio Rush going to be performing in front of his family and friends and get the opportunity at the top prize in New Japan Strong. And Gabe Kidd has been on a roll coming out of the G1 Climax 34 finals and 34 tournament. He seems like him and Jake Lee are poised to go after the IWGP heavyweight tag team titles, but he still has singles obligations, still has singles opportunities, and he just came off the heels of a big victory over Donovan Dijak at Rev Pro's 12-year anniversary. And Gabe Kidd was the one that issued the challenge to Lio Rush at Fantastica Mania USA, wanting Lio Rush at Capital Collision. The two men have traded barbs on social media, going back and forth. What do you got here? What have you thought about the build to this match here, J-News?
I think the build is solid. You know, them throwing barbs at one another and whatnot, and Gabe cutting his what I like to now call the Gabe cookie cutter promo and whatnot, where he curses up a storm and doing what he does best and whatnot, and just freaking trying to just challenge everybody's manhood at the end of the day. But yeah, look,
you're fucking rot. You're fucking rot.
He's hilarious, man, and he does. I feel like he's just like at this point, he's just feeding into everything that the fans are giving him, right? So I think that Gabe's on one. Leo's on a. It's interesting, man, where Leo's at in his career right now, right? And to say that you can probably strap him and he's gonna he like put some sort of a belt on him, a championship on him, and he's gonna deliver is like, yeah, that's a no-brainer because it's Lio Rush at the end of the day, you know. But like, when is it gonna happen per se? How is it gonna happen per se? And it's like, all right, this is a good opportunity, but I don't think New Japan takes the belt off of Gabe yet. But from a match perspective, yet again, another one of those hybrid, never open weight championship matches with the contrasting styles and stuff like that. Even though Leo can get into one of those back and forth, hard hitting battles and stuff like that, we shall see. Hopefully, it's not a no contest because Gabe wants to get all violent and shit. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a banger of a match. I think they'll play into the emotion of it. I think that's really more as to probably what the angle is going to be it that Leo's going to be in his hometown. They'll say his family's in the crowd and all that stuff. You know how Gabe gets in people's minds and shit like that, or whatever the case is. He starts talking shit from afar. He'll spit at somebody. You know, yeah. They'll get all the emotional tip of it. But I don't see
on Leo's kids.
Oh, God, I'll see. Gabe won't lose the belt, but it'll get emotional and it'll get people tugging at each other to see as to where we go.
I've been enjoying Leo Rush on AEW and Ring of Honor. It's been just nice seeing him consistently getting some opportunities, and he's so good in the ring. He's always impressive. So I'm liking what I'm seeing over there in AEW and Ring of Honor. I hope I can see Leo Rush deliver a banger against Gabe Kidd. And if they're given enough time, I have no doubt that's what they'll offer here.
For sure.
But finally, we have the main event for this Friday in Washington, D.C. It is Mercedes Mone defending the NJPW Strong Women's Championship against Momo Watanabe. It was Mercedes who picked up the victory over Stephanie Vicaire to become the new Strong Women's Champion. She's kind of been dealing with her obligations and opportunities from competitors on the TBS title in AEW, whether it be Hikaru Shida or Sky Blue or Dr. Britt Baker DMD at All In. But she will make her first defense as the Strong Women's Champion against Stardom's own Momo Watanabe. Momo accepted the open challenge of Mercedes for this matchup, and now we have the match in the main event of Capital Collision. As my daughter is grabbing my nose so I can talk like this. Say hi, J-News. Say send super chat.
There you go. There you go. You heard it from her.
She does be good business for us. Thank you. Love you. What do you think about Momo being the one to accept the challenge for Mercedes and be her first challenger for the NJPW Strong Women's Championship here?
This is going to be definitely a different match for Mercedes from the one she had on Sunday. I'll say that.
CEO. Yes, I agree. Because I don't see Momo Watanabe sandbagging.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not going to
go. There would be no allegations of sandbagging.
No accusations. No accusations. No, none of that. So, yeah, the reason as to why I say that, regardless of what transpired during the match on Sunday, is really more from a style perspective. Like, Momo hits hard. Like, that's not, she don't play, you know? So, I might see, I think she's going to fold Mercedes up like an accordion a couple of times. So we'll see that happen. And Mercedes is going to retain. Don't get it twisted. But Momo's going to give her a match that she hasn't had probably ever. So I'll give her that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Momo shit. I see Big Man Dog says, I have actually been watching Stardom recently, but I only watch the hate matches. So this match is for me. You're a cruel man, Big Man Dogs. Hate is basically Stardom's House of Torture. It's just interference. It's interference galore. I would never have said that about Oedo Tai. Oedo Tai, yeah, they had a lot of interference and shenanigans to their matches, but everybody in Oedo Tai was always, good to great, even despite kind of the distractions and shenanigans with the matches. But Hate, I'm sorry, Hate, they turned Saya Kamatani into a heel. I'm still confused on that.
It didn't work when the Grand Prix began, but it's working now. The last two matches were good.
I didn't watch the last two matches, but we'll see.
All right. Get to the last two matches then. And if folks don't know, now you know I'm a big fan of Thekla. So I'm a fan of Thekla. I just need more of her on my TV. So she's basically the equivalent of Gabe Kidd in Stardom. So
fair, yeah.
Mind you, they hang out a lot together.
So with the promos I've seen, yes, I agree.
So she's been Gabe's been a bad influence at the end of the day. So it's what it is. I think that like I said, Mercedes retains. Momo's going to give her kicks of a lifetime. She's going to fold her up a bit. But Mercedes is going to wrestle from, because Momo's considered more of a power wrestler in a sense. So she'll fight from under, in this case. So, yeah, it should be a really, really good match. And this should put Mercedes in a trajectory for future bangers in whatever other shows she should be going to.
Let's move on from Brit on AEW. We can get back to some bangers.
Heel Sheeta, baby. Heel Sheeta is coming.
Hey, I've been loving her promo work.
Heel Sheeta is coming. So I'm with that.
I'm going to go with Mercedes Mone as well to retain the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. And I agree with Chuckle Sage, who says Mercedes will wake up the next day feeling those kicks, because I've seen how Momo Watanabe likes to lay in those kicks, and feel bad for Mercedes back when it comes to Saturday morning when she wakes up from Capital Collision. But should be a very fun show, not the most consequential show, if you will. We didn't have a lot of differences in our predictions other than Dirty Work versus West Coast Wrecking Crew, because you hate Dirty Work, but that's besides the point. J-News, thank you so much as always for joining me for our NJPW pay-per-view previews, pay-per-view reviews. I believe the next time that we have an opening to review this show, if we want to, would probably be next Wednesday. So actually on air, are you free next Wednesday to talk about this show?
I am free next Wednesday to talk about Collision.
Look at that.
But I'll ask a question. I'll ask a question to you and everybody else in the chat.
Look at Harden's got poo-poo.
What? You got poo-poo?
I'm eating poo-poo.
Don't do that. That's not good.
Poo-poo in my face.
She's so random. She's so random.
Most kids are.
Yeah. So my question to pose to you and everybody else in the chat: the New Japan's strong shows always seem to have some sort of a post-match angle for one of the main matches on the show. What do you think would be, or what would you predict to be one of the post-match angles as to something that will be walked into the future?
I would not mind even if it's just like a video challenge. How about Mina Shirakawa, after her victory earlier in the night, comes out to challenge Mercedes Mone for the next NJPW Strong Women's Championship matchup?
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all. I just would then wonder if that happens, right? I would just then wonder who would be the next contender to the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. Gabe Kidd. Who steps into that role to challenge Gabe?
I think that regardless of who's next for Gabe, I think Gabe is holding this into the new year because I feel like we've gotten not big teases, but we've gotten slight teases that we're gonna get a unification matchup, an open weight unification matchup.
Oh, between the
Never versus NJPW Strong to pay off the no contest, the double knockout finish that we got in Kurgan Hall earlier this year between Hanare and Gabe Kidd. They're both open weight champions. They've been talking shit to one another, whether it be in tag team matches, whether it be Hanare on commentary and Gabe's wrestling, or Gabe's on commentary and Hanare's wrestling. They've been giving us those slight teases that I think that's the big open weight matchup that will give you the vibes of Shibata versus Ishii, or Ishii versus Toge Makabe, that type of matchup there. What are you wiping on me?
Do you think they'll take this to Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's why I think they're going to do it. They're going to do it at Wrestle Kingdom. Gabe Kidd versus Hanare, the undisputed open weight champion.
Makes sense.
So we shall see what goes down this coming Friday. We'll be talking about it before our review next Wednesday for Capital Collision. We'll be talking about what went down at Capital Collision on Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. So join us for that, as we always talk about everything going on in the professional wrestling world. But until then, J-News, thank you as always for joining me. please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and what you got going on, everything in between when you're not here and when they'll see you again.
So you can catch me on the socials at JohnLYFNMG on the Twitter machine. I post on there. I tag people on that, the regular social media shit. I do that on the Twitter machine. Also on Instagram as well. You can catch me here on True Heel Heat talking all things New Japan Pro Wrestling. You can catch me into the future now on a new pro wrestling podcast called the Hit the Ropes podcast.
Oh word! My guy got other podcasts. Let the people know. Let the people know.
It'll be me and Dolores, because me and Dolores are no longer working full time with the Workhorse Wrestling Network. So me and Dolores have optioned out and are doing our own thing. So Hit the Ropes podcast will be live streamed every Sunday at 9 p.m. starting this weekend. So you'll see us on the YouTube talking all things professional wrestling throughout the week. So check us out there. And you can also check me out on my movie review podcast, John L., your friendly neighborhood moviegoer, anywhere your podcast listening ears are accustomed to doing, Spotify, Amazon Music, all that jazz. I'm on there doing all the different movie reviews. You can also catch me up with my written reviews on the Letterboxd as well. I have that going on. You'll see a lot more content coming from me coming into the month of September. So look out for me there. And yeah, that's all I got right now.
Man, this man is busy. He's doing everything. I see you, good sir.
Yeah,
Love to hear it.
I'm trying.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Love to see it. So definitely support J-News for everything that he is doing. We will be back next Wednesday to review NJPW Capital Collision 2024. But between then, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat, $3 a month gets you exclusive content. We also got some exclusive content that's going to be dropping on the Patreon this week, which, because there's so many wrestling events this week, this couldn't even make it onto the main channel. So we're going to do it for our Patreon backers. We're going to do a TNA Emergence 2024 preview. Me breaking down the card for this coming Friday. Josh Alexander versus Nick Nemeth Iron Man matchup for the TNA World Championship. You also got the X Division being represented in an Ultimate X for the X Division Championship. There's a lot to discuss from Emergence, so I'll be doing a preview for that for our Patreon backers, for our members as well. So be on the lookout for that one. And of course, check out all the great stuff we got on the channel, like our AEW All in London 2024 review with me and Jimmy Macaram. Me and Jimmy Macaram will be live tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with AE Ramble reviewing tonight's AEW Dynamite. So stay locked for that. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. But until then, for J-News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our NJPW Capital Collision 2024 preview. We are signing off until next time. Later, y'all.